We're going to look at creating now the OnShape version, so our CAD design for our passive amplifier you've been working on in lesson. What we need to do is think quite carefully about how we created it in lesson, because we can create it in quite a similar way in OnShape. So start by clicking create and call it something sensible. I'm just using passive amplifier. Click OK, and then as our workspace loads, we're going to think about the 3 or 4 layers that we used in class. We can create in 3 layers in OnShape. We're going to look at it down from the top. So start by clicking on the top layer, not the front like that, the first mistake. And then we're going to draw our sketch. Our first sketch is going to be a square. Drag your square out and add your dimensions. So our dimensions here are between them 2 layers, or 2 lines, sorry, 140 millimeters. Click enter. And then between these 2 lines is again 140 millimeters. I haven't changed my workspace units yet, so I'm having to type in the millimeters. And I can finish that sketch. That's a square. I'm just using a scroll on my mouse to zoom in, positioning that in the center. If I click and hold the middle button, I can move it round as well. So we've got that positioned nicely in the center. Just before we move on, click the 3 lines at the top, workspace units, and let's make it millimeters. Save ourselves a job moving forwards. Extrude now the square to make it a cuboid, and we're just going to give that a depth of 12 millimeters. And click tick. So we've got the base of our amplifier. We're now going to think about doing the middle of the amp. So the middle of the amp is the bit with the hole cut out to amplify the sound from your phone. So the bottom will start as a circle, just like we drilled it when we made it. And then we're going to curve out using the Spleen Tool. So let's go ahead and start a new sketch. Click on the top surface, telling it where to go. And then we can draw a circle. So just draw that circle out somewhere on top of the square. We'll add some dimensions in. Diameter of 20 for the circle. That circle with a diagonal line through next to the 20 actually means diameter, so be careful and make sure you have got that. If you've accidentally measured the radius from the center to the edge, that will show up differently and you could have to change your dimension. So now from the center to the edge we're going to make that distance 25, and from the center to this edge we're going to make it 45. Okay, so nice, fairly round numbers, easy to work with. So we're now going to use a spleen tool, so we're going to click on the edge of the circle, halfway up to here and then to the corner, and just double click on the corner to finish that spleen. We're then going to do another one from this edge of the circle, up and out to the corner, double clicking to finish. So we've got that curvy shape that we're looking for. I'm going to click tick now, and there's my shape done. That's the bit that I don't want, the circle and this odd shape in the middle. I want to keep this bit on the outside. So if I click extrude, I'm going to click on that bit on the outside and extrude that around 35 millimeters and click tick. If your numbers don't match mine exactly, that's absolutely fine. So you can see I'm starting to get the shape now for my amplifier. Final layer, on the top surface, we'll create a new sketch. We're going to draw a square on top of here, matching it up, saving ourselves a little bit of effort, so you just wait for that square to hover over the corner before you click. And then we need to make sure that our cutout is going to line up for our phone, so you can take more time with your dimensions, or you can try and judge it by eye. So viewing it from the top, I'm going to zoom in and position that in the middle, making it a little bit easier for myself. And dimension now the distances here, so from that edge to there I'm going to make that 12. From this edge here, I'm going to make that 20, and from this edge I'm going to match it so it's nice and symmetrical. Symmetry in design is quite important, and it does look really nice if you focus on that symmetry quite often. You can break them rules eventually, but for now we'll just focus on keeping it fairly simple. 15mm gap in the centre, and then our phone holder should be about the right size. If it's not perfect at this stage, that's not the point of this project. We're creating a visual representation in CAD of the passive amp. That's what we're aiming at. I'll finish the sketch, extrude to make it 3D, and click on the part that I want now. So this is the complicated bit. I want to extrude this bit and the bit around the outside, not the square, not the rectangle, sorry, in the centre. And that's just going to be a 12mm extrude, and I'm going to click tick. So you can see now we've got our passive amp created. If you want to go ahead, rounding some edges, changing some colours, making it look a little bit more interesting, that's completely up to you. That's how we build the basic bit of the design in OnShape. Good luck with the rest of it.